it was one of those things that now I realize, now at the age of 48, that rarely happens for me. You know, I mean, I have to test. I did 5 other pilots after that, and I had to test for each one. You know, and it's like taking the fucking SAT exam all day. The stress.
It's very nerve-wracking.
Oh my God. My doctor's like, your blood pressure is really high. I'm like, I just tested for a pilot. Well, I hope you get it. You know,
so you came easily, so maybe you thought the others would as well. The other things you tested for?
I thought I didn't know that it would be such a fight all the time. You know what I mean? So I mean, you know, you're in the room over the years with guys you always compete against, and in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm the one who's going to get this fucking job. But you know that your buddy just had a baby, or you know, maybe he just lost his house, and you kind of want him to get it. But you know, I'm extremely competitive. Like I want to get it, and I think you have to be like that. You know.
You went to the Andy school of I got the job.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you own it in your mind, you know. And I think they see that when you come into the room.
Yeah.
You know, you can give a great audition. You know, and then but the guy or the gal who gets it is the one that they can see like this person really wants it. You know? Anyway, that's my theory.
Daren, how did you get involved?
Well, I actually have 2 audition stories. The first one, Andy and I were up for the same part. I auditioned for JD as well. And I'll never forget because I remembered seeing him. We were there. It wasn't, did you test? I was there. We had like a huge boardroom of people. Walter was there, John, and some people from the network were there, but it wasn't like test. It wasn't, you know, that. But I remember the one guy went in before us, and Andy and I are in the waiting room at MGM over in Santa Monica. We're not saying anything to each other. It's kind of, you know, the whole actor eyeballing thing, and waiting. I remember Andy just sitting in the corner. He's like, wasn't sitting in a chair. He was like sitting on his feet against a wall, script in hand, just kind of like reading, right? Now, I'm thinking, cool, I got kind of an edge here. You know, I know the producers. You know, but I'm also fresh out of acting school, and I'm really confident in myself and my abilities. Go in, do really well in the audition, and think things are good, and then my dad calls me later that day and goes, listen, you were great, but... And I go, okay, what happened? And he said, well, to be honest, it was Penn. And Penn is one of my biggest supporters, my biggest friends, and I give Penn a lot of credit for this. I think I talked about it last year. He said, we have 2 lead actors. They're both 6 foot tall, blonde-haired guys. And you look too much like them. The guy we're casting does not.
He's really short.
And I didn't ask him.
Albino dwarf.
I didn't I didn't actually ask who they cast. I didn't care at that point. I lost. I didn't give a shit. I knew I'd meet the guy when I get to set, and as the actor, you get the competitive thing. I'm going to go there, I'm going to look, fuck this guy. And I get out of the set, and I meet Andy, and he couldn't be a nicer guy. He's really good at his job, and I look at my dad and go, yeah, you got that call right. It just fit with those 7 guys, having him as the young guy just made sense. And I think the other irony of that story is, at the time, how old were you when you looked?
I don't know, was it 17 years ago?
Yeah.
So, 25?
Yeah. He was 25, I was 18. Far worse for an 18-year-old. The 25-year-old got it and the 18-year-old didn't. That's Hollywood. Love that, right? The 25-year-old guy booked it because he looked 18, and the 18-year-old guy looked 25. So
but now you're 38 and you look 25.
Yes, thank you. That's how I didn't get the role of JD. But gladly, but I worked as a production assistant for the first season, which enabled me to look at the scripts every week. So when my dad always said, look at the scripts when you want to see something you don't want to audition for, let me know. So Manhunt came along and I went, this part is awesome.
With my sister-in-law.
Yeah, Meredith.
Yeah.
Meredith played my sister. She did.
That's right.
And
And
she's pregnant with twins, by the way.
oh,
Yeah, their first
congratulations!
kids.
That's awesome. I'm just happy. I was gonna ask. They're still married. That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
First kids, yeah.
Oh, how exciting.
Twins in December.
So the part of Rafe was as a big one, and John told me later, he would tell me that Michael put pressure on him. Michael said, you better get a fucking great actor to play. It's the best part we've had all season long for guest stars. That didn't put too much pressure my first day on set. But the auditions was tough only because my dad, as these guys will tell you, was incredibly involved in every aspect of the show. John, as a producer, shows up, he's on set, talks to the actors, he lets Tony rewrite his dialogue. He does those things, but he is really involved as a producer. He went to Steve Beers, and at that point it was, who was God, I can't remember her name. The casting director for the series.
Oh, casting director, Janet and Jane?
No, that was
Holly.
Holly.
Powell.
Holly Powell. She was for the series. Jane and they were the pilot. He told Steve and Holly, yeah, I'm out of this decision. If he's good enough, you guys hire him. And I kind of went, oh, gee, thanks, Dad. Sort of no confidence. But I was lucky. Steve was our producer on the show, and he was my boss as a PA. And after the first audition, he called me back and said, yeah, you know, here's some notes, work on them, hit them back. And I crushed that second audition and got the part.
And you
got to work with these guys.
I think it's
It was a
great
lot of
that
fun.
John did
Great,
that, though. I mean,
great.
I think it's emblematic of his integrity. He's that
Yeah.
kind of guy.
Yeah, it's not a gimme guy.
Yeah.
But it was also one of the greatest moments we had as father and son to call me and tell me that I actually won and got the part. And that phone call that we had, it was like, that was a moment I'll never forget. But
Yeah,
it was.
I'm sure he was proud too, because he left it to them to decide.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up getting Rafe, and I got to
love
work with
that
Andy's
episode,
sister.
Especially when Dale and Tony are expecting around with the.
Dale had too much fun with that scene, actually. The scene where you guys beat me up, smacked me with a rifle, and dragged me into the door. Dale really liked that scene a lot.
You know that.
That was the first scene we actually that I ever shot. That was my first scene that we ever shot. Was that scene with those guys. And the Here Comes Ugly followed me for the rest of my time. I don't even think that was in the script. I just think that was Tony being Tony. Because Dale had the line, Dale has the line of, I do hate ugly. And then Tony, I think, followed with the other one as I come riding down the street. And literally every time on the set, the rest, all the Wranglers, the grip, hey, here comes ugly. For a week. That's what I got on set.
Yeah, you were kind of treated in real life like JD was on the
Yeah,
show.
a lot. I really was. I really was that week, but it was fun. It was a great experience, especially for a guy working for his first time with.
I'd like to say that it was because I was in character, but I just wanted to beat up on the boss's character.
I remember the rehearsal. It's like, no, don't worry, just grab his hair, Dale. No, just smack him. Just get the rifle. Luckily, Dale wanted to use the real rifle, but they forced the rubber one on him.
Look real.
It felt real. I was sore for a couple of days. My first day of shooting, I got my ass kicked by them and then by Rick and Eric. That was my first day. There was a scene where Michael really beat me up good, and that got cut out. I mean, the other running joke was, who's going to kick your ass today? I think Andy was the only one who didn't get a crack at me.
But he told you off. I love that scene when JD is saying, reputation's going to be thrown into.
I just like the look Perlman gives him. He's like, what? He does?
You said that pretty well, by the way.
Yeah, they should have cast you.
Reputation got to be well.
Shorter.
Who's next? Next question.
Answer?
Yes?
We don't see the pilot when you chase the house. Did you make that up or was it scripted?
It was all improv.
Yeah, that was all improv,
Yeah,
yeah.
still there.
I had 4 brothers growing up. We played a lot of mud football, and that just, I don't know.
I got 4 brothers too.
Him and I just kind of just happened. We just kind of became like, brothers just always hit each other.
It was.
Yeah.
So did you,
And they let us do it, which was great.
yeah,
They sold
it did look spontaneous. I go down this.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it was. I mean, fortunately, the shot allowed for it. It was a wide enough shot, because otherwise
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been set for it.
did you plot it or did it just literally happen?
It just happened.
Yeah.
I just went after it. That hat was pissing me off.
And I saw then what Daren saw later, which was that he can't control himself. He was ready to kick my ass.
Dale is very in character when the camera's rolling. You have to
I
be
was really
safe.
running.
Dale has a very clothes-specific form of Tourette's. It's just like, what? Oh, you guys, before I forget, I want to announce something because it is Magnificent Seven related. I did a pilot in the spring for Amazon. It's they're doing some original content now, like Netflix is doing. They made 5 pilots, and they put all 5 of them out for the general public to weigh in on, give reviews of, and all this kind of stuff. And they picked 2. and one of